So, all right. So, welcome to the second segment of Success is Under Your Command. We're going to do taming. This is where you get like jumbled because you've been talking to me. The words are hard, people. But we are going to be taming the database jumble, maybe my mouth jumble too, to elevate your business relationships. Super excited for this portion. This is definitely going to be an active portion of today's class, guys. So be ready. You're going to actually be doing some work. We've got about half of our session is going to be you working. We're going to give you the framework, and then you're going to do the work. So joining me for this portion, as you can already see if you're paying attention over here, is a super awesome co-facilitator. So Ansley Browning, say hello, tell us who you are, what you do, and what is important to you. How about that? Let's do that.
Oh, okay. My name's Ansley Browning. I am the Market Center Tech Trainer for KW Cleveland in Cleveland, Tennessee. And honestly, Patrick, organization is super important to me. I am an organizational freak. I love to have everything in its place. I love to have everything color coded. If I can color code it in different shades of pink, then that is ideal. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me, but I'm super excited to be joining y'all today.
I love it. And just so you guys know, because y'all weren't on the pre-prep thing with all of us, Ansley was trying to convince me to play a Taylor Swift song. I couldn't settle on which one, which is why I played something not Taylor Swift. What was the one that you had said, and we were like, hang on a second. What was it?
Well, I love her newest album, Midnights, and she's actually coming out with a new album dropping at midnight tonight. And so that is why I was like, Patrick, we should totally celebrate and, play some Taylor. I'm personally throwing a little release party tonight. So I'm super excited about it. But the song that I mentioned was Bejeweled. It's in her midnight
Bejeweled. That's what
album.
it was. Yeah.
So it's a good one to pump you up a little bit. It's one of my favorites. So
Well, that's fine. You can go be a Swiftie. That's fine.
yeah.
They don't have terms for the kind of music that I'm into sometimes, which is fine. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. All right. So we're gonna jump on in. So here's what you're gonna learn, guys. Like I said, this is gonna be very active, and we're gonna be going through a lot in this. And so here's the three things we want y'all to come away with on this segment is general concepts around database segmentation. That sounds like a big word, but sticking in the buckets, it's kind of what we're talking about. How to make use of smart views in command to more easily filter and reach information. And then some live activities on creating and using advanced filters within command, which all sounds real complicated. It's not. There's nothing terribly complicated about this. So, so here's the thing. First of all, before we get too far into this, we talked about this whole idea of the 4 laws of lead generation: build it, feed it, communicate in a systematic way, and service those. So, Ansley, tell me from your perspective, like why is it important for us to go through and segment and organize our database? Like, you like organization, various shades of pink, like that's all good.
Yes.
And why is this important?
So I think it really boils down to number 3 of the 4 laws of lead generation with communicating with it in a systematic way. So how are you going to be systematic if you don't have a foundation for that system? And foundation of that system is going to be organization. So I recently had an agent come into our office who moved down from Chicago, and he was in the police department. And so a lot of his contacts that he imported were from the Chicago Police Department. So we were talking about ways that he can communicate with his database and all of those things. And I suggested that he do a tag for the Chicago Police Department, which we'll kind of get into that a little bit later. But he was like, okay, why would I want to do that? They're not from our area, all of those different things. And I was like, well, whenever you're communicating with your database, you want to make sure that you're not sending the same exact thing to everyone. If you were to send to your core database, like your wife, your kids, your siblings, those people that are going to be your raving fans, and you say, hi, I'm so-and-so, and you introduce yourself, that's going to be a little bit weird,
A little awkward. Be like, I know
yeah,
you. Like my
you're like,
mom
I
would be
know
like,
you.
I gave birth to you. That's what she would say.
Exactly. And then, if you send that kind of thing to coworkers that you've worked for a really long time, then it just feels a little less personal. And so, one thing that we talked about too was sending out to the Chicago Police Department people that he had, just being like, hey, I've made a career change, all of those different things, just acknowledging the fact that we used to work together. So I think it all comes down to communicating with it in a systematic way. So yeah.
Yep. There's in this same segments conversation, this comes up a lot, is if you want to think about it this way, you're marketing to a specific group of people, you want to give them something that matters to them, or that the conversation sounds natural, whatever it may be. Like there are things that I'll go through phases where I'm shopping for online, and all I see is those particular products. And the reason why is because, Facebook and some of these other platforms got smart and said, hey, instead of just sending people everything and hoping they buy something, let's actually send them things they want. Okay, and that's what the idea around having algorithmic timelines and AI and all this kind of came into it. So we're going to help you guys be able to segment that portion today. And I love that whole analogy with your guy in Chicago and having all those pieces. In that same space, it's like letting people know where you are, what you've moved on to, how that fits in to the rest of your life. And I mean, honestly, this goes back to the whole buckets, okay, which we're going to actually show you guys how to do here in a second. So Ansley, what I'm going to have you do, and I think you're ready, you're good on this, is after we kind of talk back through the buckets here again, we're going to walk them through how to create the tags and what the basic exercise is. Okay, we good on that? And
Yes, sir, ready to go.
and if your phone should be done importing by now, you're going to have some contacts to work with either way on this. But we're going to kind of talk back through this. So Ansley, what's the most important part of your database? What's the most important part?
Oh gosh. I would say the most important part is your core for sure. That's what we talked about a little bit earlier.
Absolutely.
So your core, those are your people, those are going to be your foam finger Raven fans. So
Foam
yeah.
finger raving fans is now going to be, we just need a shirt that's like, I'm one of Ansley's foam finger raving fans. Like that sounds like a great t-shirt right there.
Right.
I love that. So bucket one, raving fans, past clients, sphere of influence. Bucket two, leads. We're not worrying about leads today, or at least in this segment. Cold. We're not worrying about cold. We're just not going to delete those people is what we're going to do. So how about this? Let's do this. I'm going to turn it over to your screen share.
Okay.
And Ansley's going to walk through how to create the tags. The easiest way to do this is for you guys to have the tags ahead of time. And then you're able to actually go through the exercise itself, which is really, you're just going to be sorting your database. So let's walk them through that and ask any questions that you need to, guys, as we go along. We have the chat. I would say put it in the chat so we can make sure we stay on pace, but we will definitely be doing that. So, and Alex, we're not taking a 10-minute break here in a second, but we are about to have a 10-minute exercise. So I know you've worked through some of this before, just making choices. I'll just put it that way. So anyway, all right, so let's go ahead and walk them through. How do they make these tags? How do they make the 3 tags? Their core tag, their past client tag, their raving fans tag. How do we do that?
Yeah. So first up, you're going to head over to command, and I have contacts open. And I'm going to go actually up here where my name and profile picture are, and I'm going to scroll down to settings. So once we're there, we're going to go over to the side into command settings, down to contacts, contact tags. So once we're there, we're going to go ahead and click this button, create tag. And in here, I'm going to put core, because that is our most important tag, obviously. And I want to make it KW red. So that's what I'm going to do. Make it any color you want. If there was a pink option, I'd be picking it. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and create this tag. And I'm going to go ahead and create my leads tag as well. So go ahead and type that in.
So even though we're not doing it, you're going to go ahead and create a tag for that just for later use. Okay.
Yes, for later use. Yeah, just so that way I didn't do it too fast. So I'm going to go ahead and do the leads one, and then I'll go ahead and finish out all the buckets and go ahead and do my cold one too.
Hey,
So
after you get done creating these tags, do us a favor. Can you go back to the home screen and show them how you got to this screen? Because honestly, that's the biggest hurdle, and we had a couple folks asking.
absolutely. So I am back in my home screen over here in Command. I'm going to go up here where my profile picture and my name are. I'm going to click that drop down menu. Then once I'm there, I'm going to scroll down to settings. Then once I open up my settings, I'm going to open up command settings on this left-hand side here. You're going to see applications and contacts. I'm going to open up that contact menu, and then contact tags is right there. And you should be able to create a tag over on the right-hand side.
Love it. So I'm putting it back in the chat again, guys, so you guys can see this. So she did actually create the leads and cold. She went ahead and did that, but she created the core tag first. Let's make sure we also create for them past client and raving fan as tags.
Yep, absolutely. So I'm going to create that tag again, and I'm going to say past client. Make that one orange. I haven't made an orange tag yet.
Sorry, we don't have 50 shades of pink for here. So sorry.
I'll forgive y'all. I'll forgive y'all. I'll put it in the suggestion box that give you. And then what was the other one you wanted? Raving fans, right?
Raving fan.
All
Yep.
right, we'll go ahead and do that one in yellow. All right.
Doing yellow. There we go.
Yes. So as you can see, you've got the system tags in here as well, but you can see cold, core. If I were to scroll on, you can see leads, and then I've got a couple other ones in here, past client. So you can see which ones created, all of that kind of deal. So
hey, and before you go on, I do want to tell you guys one thing. This is kind of a broader piece. This is your tag database back there. If you ever need to remove a tag from command, like you don't want to use it anymore, no contacts can be assigned that tag. So you do have to go in and remove the tag from all your contacts. There is a bulk function to do that. But here on the back end, if you want to delete a tag in that contact tags, let's say that core, we didn't want to use it anymore. As long as core is not on any contacts, you can hit delete. The caveat is you cannot delete system tags. So any ones that say system, they are there forever. And I know some people have some different feelings about how those show up. Just do know the system tags live forever. They are eternal, so if I create a tag, does the team see these I created too? Christy, if you're operating in your personal account, then no. If you're operating in the team account, then yes. But if you're on a team, any of y'all that are on a team, while you're in your personal account, like Ansley up at the top, it just says her name. It doesn't say like Ansley Browning and down below the so-and-so team. If it's like hers, then it's all just personal. But if it has that team space and you create it, then yes, other people will be able to see it. So, okay. So here's the idea, guys. So she's got her database right here. Okay. We've created some tags. Here's the basic exercise is that she's going to scroll through her database. She's going to see any name she recognizes. And she's going to put a little check mark next to them. She's going to check them and check them and check them. And what she's effectively doing is, I remember this person. I know this person. And so most likely that person knows, likes, and trusts her. Now, this is something you can refine over time, but to get started, this is what you'll do. The next thing that she's going to do after she's selected some people, she can click on that drop down where it says actions. She can add tags. And so what tag do you guys think she would add to this group of people? Let's see if they've been paying attention.
Core.
Yes, core. That is correct. So core is the bucket. Core is also in this discussion, basically sphere of influence. Okay, so when you think core, think sphere of influence. Now, here's the reason why we built this system like this. You have a core tag. Your core tag is the bucket, but we have segments in there. You have past clients and raving fans. So when we have a raving fan, they will have more than one tag. They will have a core tag and a raving fan tag. When we have a past client, they will have a core tag and a past client tag. If they're a past client raving fan as well, they'll have a core, past client, and raving fan. The reason why is because we can segment these out. This all comes down to segmentation like we were talking about, so that let's say we have a client event coming up. Maybe we only want to invite past clients. Makes it real easy. But say we have an event coming up where we want to invite anyone in our core database, we can sort by that core tag and grab all of them, or we can grab just the past clients. Or for our raving fans, we may have a special night set up for them where we go take them out to dinner, you know, maybe have some wine, like whatever. Like you could do something special just for them. Having them segmented makes it easier for you to find. Absolutely. So
I'm going to go ahead and add a couple of these, make them raving fans, and I'll make the other one past clients just for some demo purposes.
And Shirley, you can do the tags however you want. We're giving you a framework. So if you determine that you want to do this system a little bit different, that's up to you. You can do this as a framework. Another thing I want you to show them, demo for them too, is show them how they can, and you may not even know this because it's a hidden function up here. So click on that show 1 to 120. Actually, you probably have it already set to it.
Yes.
If you
Yes.
click on that, guys, there's options for how many contacts per page will show up. Here is a bit of a nuance to this. You can only do one page at a time. I have 20,000 contacts in my command account. If I wanted to completely comb through it, I have to comb through 40 pages because I have to go 500 contacts at a time. Ainsley has all 120 of her database contacts in this one page. So she could go through a whole database. Some of you, this may be you. If you have less than 500, you can get them all on one page. But if you have more than that, you have to do them one page at a time. So don't select a bunch of people and then hit next page because you're going to have to start over. Okay, I don't want you to have to go back and reselect those people. So you go through, you select those people. Let's show them how to turn that core, though, into a smart filter. Because we'll get into the advanced smart filters here in a second, but let's show them how to create that core smart filter.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to start up here in the filters button. So once we click that, this menu comes up on our right-hand side here. I know my left and right, you guys. And I'm going to go
Everything's
ahead.
backward on Zoom too, by the way. I'm
Oh,
always
is
going,
it? Okay,
over
well, then
here,
I've been
look at
saying
this.
the whole
It's on the wrong side.
Okay, well, sorry guys. My left is your right or my right is your left, whatever. It's going to come up on one side of your screen. It's going to be surprised. You're going to click this core tag, and then you're going to go ahead and apply that tag. And as you can see, all of my core people are now showing up. So it's going to say 1 through 10 right here because I've only picked 10 people to be in my core database. And then you're going to see this button pop up, this nice little teal button that says Create Smart View. So now I'm going to go ahead and name this Smart View Core Database. Save that Smart View. And now whenever I open up Command again, it's going to open up in my all contacts because that is my default, right? But if I ever want to just see my core database, I can click on this Smart View button and it'll be right here under Core Database.
And then boom. I love it. So here's one of the things I want y'all to know about this. This smart view that she created with the core. For example, I have 20,000 people in my command database. If I go to my core smart view, I have 226 people because those are the people who matter the most in my space. And those are the people I need to communicate with more frequently. So I have them as core contacts so I can easily get to them. Same thing here. So here's the second layer of this. We identify first, we go through our whole database, we tag them with the core. The second part of this is, in this same space, what Ainsley could have done is she selects all our cores, then she goes in and goes, I did a transaction with this person, I did a transaction with this person, let me add past client. Or let me add raving fan, because maybe they've leveled up in your space. They sent you 3 referrals. Guess what? They're a raving fan now. Like however you want to treat that. Anything else you want to add on to this before we actually take them to the exercise and let them get an opportunity to do it themselves?
I think I'm good.
Okay. I'm going to skip back over to my slides real quick then, guys. And we'll come back to you here in just a second. Ainsley, you can drive in a minute. We're going to go through the buckets. And so what I've done is I created this little slide for you guys as a reminder of what we're doing. And we're going to give ourselves 10 minutes. And then we're going to take some ahas. And so what I want you guys to do is I want you to, just like we just did there, go through your contacts, do the check mark down the left side of anyone you know, like, and trust, or may know, like, and trust you. You recognize them, they get added. Okay? And then you're going to do that bulk action where it has that arrow pointing down, that bulk action. And you're going to add tag. And you're going to do core. We're only going to worry about core. Don't worry about past client stuff. We're going to give you 10 minutes to do this. So go to contacts, click the check boxes next to people you recognize, click the bulk action in the drop down, add tag core. How do we feel? Do we have it? Do we understand the exercise? Or do we need one more go at this?
What if they're still downloading?
You can still work on it anyway. Yeah, absolutely. That's it. That's a wonderful question. You can keep on going. I will go ahead and get the timer started and everything on this, and I will repeat the exercise a couple times. I'll narrate it throughout it so you guys can stay focused on this. So we're going to give you 10 minutes to work on this, and we're going to take some ahas.
I got lost where bulk action is.
Yep. So if you're in your contacts, once you select the little check boxes next to some contacts, there's a little drop down at the top that'll appear, and it says actions. If you click on it, it opens up.
Okay.
Okay, got
Are
it.
we doing this just from our phones? Because I don't have a checkbox next to any of my contacts on my phone. Or
Do
is
it
this
from desktop.
better to
This-
do on
I should
the?
have clarified. For this portion, we'll do it from desktop. So we import it from our phone, but we'll actually sort it from desktop. Now you can
Okay.
do it from mobile. It's just a different workflow, but yes.
And how do we get to what we're supposed to be filling out on here? Just go to the app?
So once you're actually, hang on. So you're in contacts. I'll show you guys one more time and then we'll start.
No,
the-
I'm not in contacts. I was just in, go back, well, I
Yeah,
don't
once
know
you-
how to get back to all of that stuff from our Zoom call that we're
Oh,
having.
from the Zoom, you just would go to your web browser that you have command open in, or open a web browser and go to command. Yeah,
Okay, thank
Yep.
you.
you're welcome. Check the boxes on the left. You'll see the action menu will show up here, add tag, and then core. That's what we're doing in this, which it looks a little different because I shared my screen instead of Ansley's, but anyway. Okay, in the interest of time, I'm going to make sure that we get this going, and I will repeat the exercise a few times so that we can make best use of it. And then we'll just take some ahas, good, bad, and different. We're going to take some ahas. So here we go. Oh. just a quick reminder of what we are going through. You'll be going through your database, your contacts, anybody you recognize. You can put a little check mark there on the left side. Once you do, action drop down will show up. Once that action drop down shows up, go down to add tags and select our core tag. Working on our core database. Those who know, like, Alright, you guys have about 5 minutes left. Make sure you're focusing on identifying those people who know, like, and trust you. That you know and trust. Looking at box down the left side and contacts. Drop down that appears. Add tags. We're adding the core tag. If you don't already have core tag created, select something. Say create new. Click on that. You guys have a little over 2 minutes left. Right, one more minute, guys. All right. Okay, let's take some ahas. I know I saw a few people in the room that were like, hang on a second, I don't know how to create a tag. I'm not sure where to get started. It's totally normal, guys, but let's take some ahas. What did you learn? And we'll circle back around those.
The smart view to me was the biggest takeaway because it narrows things down, and I like that.
100%. I love the smart views. They make a huge difference. What else? Who else had an aha? Making
I like
tags
being
has its advantages. It does.
I like being able to give each contact more than one tag and like clearly understand that layout. In CRM or in CRMs in the past, if I've done that, I've been like, wait, what? And I like being able to give them my own names so that I can fully understand what I'm doing.
Absolutely. I love that. Well, thanks guys for sharing. These are big ahas. The biggest thing is, was that easy? Was that terribly hard to start working on identifying those people? It's one of the biggest takeaways I want to give you guys in this segment with that we wanted to give you is that it's important to identify these people. It's not hard to find them. And oftentimes we build up in our head, that's going back to limiting beliefs. Perception is reality. Like we build up all these things and we just end up not getting into action for overanalysis paralysis. We're going to go to the next segment of this. We're going to talk about advanced filters. But before we do, I want to show, and then I'll let Ansley, I'll let you take over here in just a second. Before we do, I'm going to show you guys one thing. So we had some questions again on the bulk actions. So over here on the top right, if you're in the command contacts applet, in the top right, mine says show 1 to 8. If you click on that, there's a drop down and it allows you to set what your default number of contacts per page is. So if you're only 1 to 10, which is the default, if you're just new to command, you can change it. I have mine set on 500. All you do is just click on the amount you want it to be. You can only do this 1 page at a time. We showed you how to create the a tag on the back end, but I'm going to show you something else real quick. If you select just one contact and this little actions bar appears and we say add tag, you can actually just type the name of a tag in here. Tag for class, I'm just going to call it, okay? And if it's not already in your tags, it's going to say create tag. You can hit create tag, you can assign the color, and then you can say create tag. The catch to that is after it's created, you have to make sure that you have it selected in the list before hitting submit. Once that's done, you can see that my Frank Testo now is going to have tag for class as one of its tags. So there's a couple different ways you can actually get to that. Okay. All right, Ansley, I'm going to turn it over to you because she's going to go through an awesome feature. One of my favorites is the advanced filters piece inside of this.
All right. Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. Can everybody see? We good?
Yep, we are up. Production says good.
Amazing. All right. So, the same way that I filtered my contacts before, we're going to click that same filters button up here, and you're going to see this little advanced button up here. And don't be scared of this advanced filter button. this is just going to give you some more control over what you can see. So one of my favorite ways to utilize this advanced filter, it's going to have you select a field, and then you can see, we're going to say primary address. Okay, so you guys know you want your primary addresses in your contacts, right? But a lot of times it's difficult to see how many people have a primary address. You don't want to have to go through each contact and see that. And so I'm going to go ahead and say primary address is empty. So
And
if my
real
primary
quick, as she's going through this, hang on a second. I will
Yeah.
stop you on this because I forgot to say this earlier. We didn't put it in our lesson plan. There's 4 pieces of information you need on every contact, guys. Names, phone numbers, email addresses, physical addresses. So the filter she's showing you guys in advanced filters is going to kick back those who have no address.
Yes. So that way you don't have to go through and figure out who doesn't have one. So you can do this again for any field. You've got everything from birthday to home anniversary, and then we've got the primary email, primary phone, primary address down here. I went ahead and selected primary address, and I'm going to say is empty. So that means that field inside of my contact, if the primary address is empty, it's going to give me those. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that. And these are all the people that I don't have addresses for. So that's 117 of my contacts. So now I can go through and find out their primary address, add it in. I can call them and ask, hey, what is your primary address? I want to send you some stuff. It's a great way to go through and contact your database. So you can even create a smart view for this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and create a smart view, and I'm going to say need primary address. And whenever I save that, again, it's going to be in this drop-down menu right here. So whenever I want to go through and get some primary addresses in my database, kind of work on it bite-sized, I can come in and click on this smart view. So I'm going to go through and do this one more time because I know that probably was a little bit fast. So I'll just
Yep.
go ahead and do it for primary phone number.
And so let's think about this from a workflow use case kind of standpoint. So you've got address is empty. We know that we need to get the address. So I guess the game would become if I have an address is empty filter that I've created, the game becomes I want that list to say 0. I want to say needs address and have nobody like that. But I want that to be empty. So you had 117 people in there. That means I got 117 people to work on. Like,
Right.
Yep. Okay.
Exactly. So I'm going to go through again, and I'm going to click this filters button, and then up at the top, you're going to see advanced. Click on that. I'm going to select the field that I want to see. So I'm going to do primary phone. And again, I'm going to say is empty. I'm going to apply that. And I only have 8 people without a phone number in my database. So that
And
is
that's
really
in your
good.
entire database, like
That's
of your
my-
whole database.
Exactly. Out of my whole database, I only have 8 people that don't have a cell phone number in here. So now I know who to contact to get their number, to get their information. And again, I'm going to go ahead and create that smart view, and I'm going to say need phone number. Save
Okay,
that
so
smart-
you've shown them how to create a single advanced filter. Why don't we go deeper than that? Because doesn't this new advanced filters have a way to like add additional layers to it? So what if they wanted to do this for their core database that they're working on?
You absolutely can do that. So I am going to go back to all contacts here. What filters should I do for that, Patrick? I'm going to go back up to advanced. The first
Yeah,
field.
so- Could make a tag for the first one. So
Okay.
it includes a particular tag that we may have taught people how to just do.
So I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go to tags. I'm going to do.
There's your core tag.
Yep. Go ahead and apply that. I'm going to go back to filters up to advanced.
And you see what it did is it carried over her basic filter she had into the advanced filters, but also
Correct.
has this button that says add filter. So we can add a layer to it. So I want to know who's missing an address out of your core database. Like
Okay.
that's who we need to know.
Yeah, so I'm going to scroll down and do primary address here. And I'm going to, again, contains is empty. I'm going to change that. So that way now what this is telling me is out of my core database, who I need primary addresses for. So I'm going to go ahead and apply that. And all 10 of them, I don't have addresses for anybody. So that is not a good core database on me. I need to go ahead and get some
You got work
addresses
to do.
here. I got
Sorry.
work to do. So, yeah.
So what are some other fields that we have in there that would be valuable? You said you like celebrating people's birthdays, right? Like we
Oh,
talked about.
I love celebrating people's birthdays. I'm a big birthday person. So I am actually going to remove this one and I'm going to add a filter. Again, keeping within my core database, I'm going to go to birthday and let's say I want to know either is empty or with birthdays, you can actually do is within the next 30 days. So I know their birthday is coming up within the month. I'm going to go ahead and apply that. I don't think anybody in my core database has a birthday coming up. Nope. But now, if there were people to come up, now I have a way to communicate with my core database with a handwritten card or scheduling out an email, something like that. So it's a great way to plan ahead for sure.
Kathy Sensing, she was asking on Command MC. This is outside of most agents in here. I don't believe advanced filters is in Command Market Center. It's only on the agent side. You can create smart views though. And there are a lot of filters that you have available that agents don't have on the Command Market Center side. So yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Any other filters we want to show them? Because what I want to do, what we plan on doing here, guys, is we're going to give you guys another 10-minute time block where y'all can go in and play around with this a little bit, get familiar with how these work and create some smart views that may be valuable to you. And we can give you some suggestions as we go through that. Jessica, what you got?
Yeah, so one thing that I have people filter a lot when I'm working with them is, okay, let's look at your core database or your VIPs or whatever it is that you've labeled it for your main folks.
Mhm.
And let's see who has not got the address, right? But let's add another layer. Who does not have an email? Because if we wanted to use something like monthly neighborhood nurture, we need both. So I think that's something important to mention too, is it's great to get the address, but if we don't have several methods in which to try to obtain the address, we're not going to be able to send them the things we want to send them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love
Right.
it.
So this is how that would look from from an advanced filter standpoint. If you're wanting to do what Jessica talked about, which I think is a great point, you definitely need both a primary address and email to get that neighborhood nurture going, which is an awesome smart plan. So I am starting out with my tags. Tags includes core, and then primary address is empty, primary email is empty. I'm going to go ahead and apply those, and I don't have any. So, yep. But if yours return any, then that means that you need their primary address and their email.
So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take back screen share on this.
Okay.
We are going to start. I'm going to start another thing. So here's the activity for you guys. And actually, this can be multi-pronged. However you would like to spend your 10 minutes, I'm going to give you a starting point. So here's what it is. I want y'all to create some advanced filters. And just here are some examples. Primary address is empty. Email address is empty. Phone number is empty. Birth date is empty. Maybe neighborhoods and address is empty. You can go through and play with that. Create some smart views if you like to make this easier. However, when you come across some people that are like, you know what? I thought I had X piece of information for this person. Why don't you spend a couple minutes and try and find that information? What I mean is try and figure out what their address is, try and figure out what their phone number is. And I'm not going to give you any suggestions as to how to find that information. I want you to think about that on your own. We have plenty of suggestions, but I want you to think through it and problem solve just a little bit in this piece. So I am going to start this up. And like I said, I will talk just like before a few times throughout this for us to think about it. So you're playing around with advanced filters. Create some smart views if you would like, and find some information on some contacts. That's what we're doing here. So let's go ahead. I'm going to turn my video off and we're going to get that started. drop down, select your filter. Next to it, where it says contain default, click on the drop down. One of the options is empty. The options now also do not have that particular. Sam had put down in the chat that the information to call is actually one of the places. Reach out in the text message. If it's somebody you know and you're following a friendly and compliant means, reach out. Especially if it is a past client or someone who is within your know, like, and trust sphere. A little under 7 minutes left, guys. Play around with those advanced filters. About 4 minutes left, guys. Working on those advanced filters. We'll find some contacts in there too that you don't have some information. Reach out to them, build some of those contacts. As a reminder, information we're looking for: phone number, email address, physical address. We have those. Do a lot with data. Lock and follow-up, run an effective 36-touch camera. We've got to have those. 30 seconds left. All right. Let's do some ahas, folks. What'd you learn? Did we learn anything? Did anybody like that? Do y'all like the advanced filters?
I did.
Yeah, Tracy, go for it.
I found I found a contact that didn't have an address or an email, and I actually know her, and she lives in $1 million neighborhood. So, what am I doing? I need to go through and do that more often.
That is a big aha. If anybody didn't hear that, you'd be surprised what you'll find. I said the gold is in the old. Sometimes it's just going through your contacts and being like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Why haven't I talked to this person or whatever? Sorry, I'm losing my voice all of a sudden. This always happens. I get to this point, I've talked too much, allergies kick in.
Okay, Julie just said DTD2, and that is one of my favorite ways to do tags. And
Yep.
so I love that, Julie. Just wanted to shout that out because that is awesome.
Hey, and if anybody's not familiar, that is the Star Wars follow-up. I mean, it's never mind. It's not the R2D2. That joke is getting old. It's the DTD2. So do the database 2. It's a tag system that involves last names, and you match it up with a calendar. And then, you know, like, hey, I'm going to call these people this week, the A&Ws, the P&Ls, the whatever. So creating tags and creating some smart views around those DTD2s, I think could be super valuable. Of course, if you create too many smart views, just remember, you may be creating extra work for yourself sorting through them. So whatever makes sense for your business. If you reach a point where there's too many, you can go through and delete those. Let's do at least one more aha before we skip on and close out this segment. One more, maybe.
Patrick.
Yeah, go for it, Bill. Long time no talk yesterday. Anyway, what's up?
So I think your question was, how do you find the information to complete your contact record?
Yep.
And I don't know if users outside of Atlanta have this, but in our Atlanta market, through our MLS, we've got a product called Forewarn.
Yep.
And you can utilize that to find with a person's name, you can, and cross-reference also with a phone number, you can find recent email addresses and phone numbers.
Forewarn's a great tool for that, guys. So if anybody's like Metro Atlanta, FMLS, this is one of the things that you get access to. Not everybody does, but it's a great one. Tax records are another place you can pull them from. But at the end of the day, building relationships isn't a bad thing. Calling somebody to be like, hey, I haven't talked in a while. I love celebrating birthdays. I want to send you a card. What's your address and what's your birthday? It's not a hard conversation. And so I just encourage anybody, just don't get too much in your head on this. Just go have conversations with people. Ainsley, anything you wanted to add before we kind of wrap up this session? Because we're actually running behind by a few minutes, and I want to make sure we get to lunch on time. And so, Jessica, we're going to be running. So anyway, no, we'll be fine. It's all good.
Yep, I'm good. Thanks guys so much for having me. It has been so much fun organizing with you guys, and I hope that y'all got something out of it. So see y'all later.
Well, we appreciate it. So real quick recap, general concepts around database segmentation, why this is critical. We talked about that, buckets, making use of smart views, and then we did a live activity. So this is what you guys did. Let's do a quick poll because I love polls. Filters, where are we at in the list? Okay, here we go. Here is our filter poll. It has 3 questions. In advanced filter, this advanced filter setting allows me to see contacts missing a piece of information. What filter setting is that? And then advanced filters are, I say access through, that's a typo, accessed through. How do we get to them? So give us your best answer. Okay, I will give everybody a few more seconds to do this. So looking at that. Oh, they're really starting to come in now. We'll see what we get in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, now. So we're going to share the results. Filter setting, that contact is missing a piece of information. Is empty is correct. You guys win. That's correct. Is empty. As far as where you can access them through, yes, you can get them from Smart Views. The correct answer is actually the toggle inside the filter drawer. You may not know the term. When you click filters, that thing that slides out, they call that a filter drawer. And so that button at the top that says advanced, that's how you get to them. Now you can create Smart Views that are accessible from mobile, but you cannot create advanced filters from mobile. Okay, so you'd have to have already had created them on desktop, but you can access them from mobile. So that is definitely part of that. All right, I'm going to stop the recording on this piece, and then we're going to get ready for the next. And we're going to be coming up with some fun stuff with newsletters. So here we go.
Hey, Patrick.